listening to Femme podcast with Tessa Markle
and Carolina Alvarez.
Femme. So welcome back, listeners. On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about distribution. So, you finished your film, you're ready to get it out there, you're ready to sell it. What do you do to do distribution? So we have our guest here today, Alexandra Boylan. She is also a multi-hyphenate, like big time, actress, writer, producer. She's an author. Her book is called Create Your Own Career in Hollywood, Advice from a Struggling Actress Who Became a Successful Producer. And Carolina, do you want to talk a little bit more?
Yeah, she is the lovely co-owner of Mirror Tree Productions and Mustard Seed Entertainment. With Mirror Tree Productions, she had produced numerous feature films, including Home Sweet Home and At Your Own Risk,
which I saw and it was fabulous.
Yes. And her company, Mustard Seed Entertainment Films, created and produced the very successful Catching Faith, which has had a 2-year run on Netflix, holla, and was on the shelves of Walmart. So you can actually go and buy it, guys, right?
Yes. And Amazon, that'd be a good place to get the DVD.
Perfect.
There we go. Perfect. And she actually just told us that Catching Faith 2 is now in
post-production.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
It'll be hopefully out in June.
Oh, awesome.
Well, thank you for accepting our invitation. We're so excited because we had a lovely session with her. And as always, we like to start our little guest speaker session with some tea. So today we have the fruit tea sampler from Celestial Seasonings with the true blueberry. So how do you like it?
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Thank you for having me, ladies. I'm
Cheers.
stoked.
Cheers. Yes.
Did you put some whiskey in it?
Oh my God, I wish.
That's probably how this is going to go eventually.
Then you'll really get what you want from your interviewer. You'll get with the real dirt.
Exactly.
I'm a little liquored up.
I know. And probably would make this game
A lot more fun.
Yes.
Everything's more fun when you're drunk, you guys.
Exactly.
I know. What are we thinking? This is like a really silly game. So with our tea, we like to play this game called Utter Nonsense.
Oh, goodness. I love utter nonsense.
Yes.
I've never played this, but I like the words.
And we actually are just going to do it our way, which is we basically have an accent pile and a phrase pile. And so we each choose an accent. So we'll have you be our lovely first up.
Okay.
So basically you're going to choose an accent and a phrase.
One.
You don't see it.
I don't look at it.
You don't look at it.
Take one of each.
Take one of each.
A yellow card and a white card for you guys listening. One of each.
And
For when you play at home.
Exactly.
And actually, we could all start. This is round one, so I'll take one.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. I'm nervous.
So what you're going to do is say the phrase in the accent, and we're going to try to guess what the accent is.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yes.
I love it.
All right. Would you like to go first, Alexandra?
Okay.
Start us off.
And then I just pick the yellow or the white. It doesn't matter.
You flip both.
Oh.
Because the yellow is the accent and the white is the phrase.
You have to say the phrase in the accent. Wow, we are so great at explaining things.
This is awesome. I got it. I'm just nervous. Okay, ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. A cougar can't change her spots, but she can wear 6-inch heels and a mini skirt.
Ooh, like a not valley girl, but like prep, like cheerleader? Like,
It's close.
Teenage girl.
Do I tell you what it is?
do it again.
Okay. A cougar can't change her spots, but she can wear 6-inch heels and a mini skirt.
Know it all. Very like like I just see I see the character. Like you'd book the role.
Thank you. A cougar can't change her spots, but she can wear 6-inch heels and a mini skirt. All right.
Okay, we lose.
Fast talker.
Oh, okay.
Was that right?
That makes sense.
You
That
did
makes
it. You did it
sense.
I did it
fast.
fast.
You just had such assertive attitude. That's I was catching the assertive.
Oh, okay.
The
Well,
speed.
she's got 6-inch heels.
Yeah,
She's
girl.
a cougar.
All right, Carolina, you want to go next?
Yes. Oh God. Hello, Larry. Come over here and give your mum a kiss on the face. Right on the right side. I got eczema on the other side.
That's a weird phrase. But
English.
yeah, is it just English accent?
British.
British.
Yes.
Okay.
That was good. Excellent.
Thank you.
That one was an
Cheers.
easy, simple
Cheers.
accent,
You'll
though.
accept your Academy Award later. It was very good.
Right, does it?
All right. Now, some of these are tricky. Okay. Not sure how I made it this far without a friend named Fred.
Like, I love it. Commitment.
Very good.
Okay. Like, I just saw, like, I would say the character Dory from Finding Nemo, but I just...
You're like a weak person.
like
Okay, I'm gonna give you weak because it wasn't really an accent. It's an emotion. It was scared.
Ooh, so they do emotions.
So they do emotions because
Yeah,
I got a fast
apparently.
talker. That's
Yeah.
not an accent.
All right, let's do another round.
Okay, another round,
Got
another
time
round.
for one more.
Now that we're
Like,
That was just the warm
pros,
up.
we're professionals. Okay. Ooh, I took too many.
Okay, I'm going to take this one then. And Tessa.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Alexandra.
Okay. I want to win. Oh my gosh. Home is where you can drink red wine in your underwear.
Drunk.
Yes.
Accent and phrase match up perfectly.
Perfectly.
Like a little bit of a, like, I don't know what
I heard it like a twang in there. I was going to say like Southern drunk, but you...
drunk.
Southern
Home.
prom girl.
They say home. Like
Home.
is where, isn't that so? But it says drunk. No Southern.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
I win.
Yes. Snaps.
Okay.
Okay. yo, rap, your background actor, otherwise known as prop that eats. You can't sit with us showcase performers. Oh, singing.
I'm gonna go with rapper.
Yeah. Rapper. Hot diggity dog.
Hot diggity dog. You guys nailed it. Yeah, feel free to improvise with these.
Yeah, sometimes you need to. I think.
Sometimes you need to.
Okay, I've never heard of this before. Do you think I could get my boob job funded on Kickstarter? Okay,
A
for those of you
sassy
listening, this is
cougar.
kind of a visual too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it again for you guys.
Okay.
Do you think I could get my boob job funded on Kickstarter?
A New Yorker?
Sassy.
I just kind of threw the New York into it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's like not but like
Like a trophy wife?
No, she's got
Wait,
that
no,
weird
Kickstarter.
like it's. I feel like you're like an awkward like you're like a I don't know. Why are you talking to the side of your mouth?
There you go. It's side mouth talker. Whatever that means.
Of course.
I feel like an idiot. I didn't get that one.
Sorry, listeners, that
she
was
did
visual.
a very good job visually doing that, and I still didn't get it.
I couldn't do it without
was
throwing
just
in that
like,
kind of
oh,
like Gadsby New Yorker, though. I don't know where that came from, but
Oh my
They talk us side of the mouth.
I guess so, right?
Like Tony Montana. You know.
Tony Montana. It's really good. You should have gotten that. I should have gotten the New Yorker.
Dude, did you girls hear that they're redoing Scarface? The Coen brothers are.
Whoa! I did
Yeah.
not hear that. They're redoing everything.
exactly.
I know, but I'm kind of
Shouldn't
like
be surprised.
I know. I'm surprised, and also I'm just kind of like, but OG Scarface though. I mean, he had terrible. I love the terrible accent though. That's like what makes it a classic.
I just feel like some of the movies don't need to be redone.
Exactly.
Like, please don't
Amen.
touch Back to the Future. Please don't.
Oh my god! And you know
Exactly.
they will, and CGI everything.
I love the nostalgia. Don't love the remakes.
Right.
I
Me
know.
neither. Like Indiana Jones was the new one was not good.
Yeah.
No, those were our kids' movies. From
Exactly.
The 90s.
No.
Don't. You can't. The new generation can't have it. Make something new.
Exactly. Listeners, we want to hear what you have to say about this too. By the way, we tell you all the time, DM us, send us a message, whatever, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear how you feel about these things too.
Yeah. How do you feel about Back to the Future never getting remade?
Yes, please.
Start a hashtag.
Yes.
Start a hashtag. I love it. Hashtag under our photos. No
remake of.
remake of.
No, back to the Future.
Yes, no back to
That's what they're- you just gave them an idea. Yes. That's what are you doing? Don't do that. Bad. Someone in there is writing that down. Like, yeah, that's
know.
a Back to the Future.
All right, guys. So let's get into business.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Ghostbusters. That was unfortunately I did not like the remake.
I didn't see it. I was
see it.
not into that.
Did you? No. I heard that 2020, 19, whatever. They're making another one.
Wait, really? Again?
Yeah, another one again, and that one did not do well. So it's kind of confusing what's going
picking
on.
that up. I
you know?
wonder.
And it made me mad because it was a female driven with all the women, and then they took the brunt of the pain for it. I'm like, no, it was just a bad movie. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was women. Don't remake these movies. Just go make a new movie.
Exactly.
know.
Take inspiration. That's fine. You don't need to
Steal
remake
it
the movie.
and then remake it a different movie. Like, we'll start a club.
Exactly.
Yes. Where we have tea
Protest,
and rum.
yeah, we like stand on the streets of Hollywood with picket signs of remakes of old classics.
Yep.
Be
We'll
a
be
thing.
those girls. Yes. Yes.
Well, all that being said, we'll get into distribution now.
All right.
So we met Alexandra through a class that she teaches about distribution. And actually, last episode, you'll have heard us talk a little bit about what we learned from her, just a little taste. So now she's going to tell you guys some tips and tricks and, what you really need to know about distribution, and especially self-distribution versus the normal route. Because I think that's a big thing now is, with all of these streaming platforms and everything, like things are changing in the distribution world.
Yes, they're changing so fast that I feel like even as I'm in pre-pro on a film that's going to come out next year, I don't even know how to do the plan for distribution because I don't know what it's going to look like in a year from now because things are moving that fast. And with Netflix and Amazon really stepping up and kind of being the new studios, it's like, I don't know quite, we're all learning. It just keeps changing. But what we talk about in my class, the materials you need if you're an independent film and you're not with a studio, which obviously if you're at the studio, you don't have to worry about distribution. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. That is who we're talking to. But if you're an independent film, you still need the very key marketing materials. And that's the poster and the trailer that I talk about all the time. And
what are the three things that
the three things are very, believe it or not, people are surprised by it, even though I feel like it's so obvious, but professional poster, a professional trailer, and a finished film.
Yeah.
Don't send out an unfinished film to people. It's just too competitive out there to think that anybody can imagine how good it is when it's done. But the poster is just the number one most important thing, whether you're going after a distribution company or you're self-distributing. You need it's your clickbait. It's the only thing between your audience and your film is that poster. Same with the distribution company. They're looking through books of posters and they're deciding which movies to decide based on the poster.
Which is nuts.
It's nuts. But then when you think about it, you're like, I scroll through Netflix. I go to Redbox. We used to go to video stores. I did. I saw one the other day in Van Nuys. I was like, hello, last remaining video store. You're just looking at images, and if you don't know who's in the movie, you're making your choice off what is the genre, what's the concept, what does that poster look like, does it speak to you?
That makes sense. That totally makes sense.
And it always surprises me when people say that they've spent a lot of money on their film, but they're not willing to spend the money on the poster. Because I'm like, the chances of anyone seeing your film is really small if your poster isn't grabbing their attention.
Right.
Percentage-wise, how much would you say someone would need to probably budget into like distribution or the poster?
Great question. I always say put 3,000 to 5,000 in. I also say do that ahead of time. Like don't wait to get a poster company after you've made the film. If you hire a professional poster company ahead of time, they can read your script. You can do the shots that you guys want on set with your actors. You can pull them aside when you're already paying them to be there and do their shots in front of a white backdrop with the on-set photographer, and boom, you have your pictures that you can send off to your company, and then the company can be working on the posters actually while your movie's in post. So if you have a sales rep, he can already be talking to distribution companies and showing them your poster, which will entice them to want to see the movie when it's ready. So I always tell people do that beforehand, and you'll save money. Because I had Joey Lawrence in Wish for Christmas, and if I wanted to bring him back for a poster shot another day after, it would have cost me way too much money. Right. But on set, they'll come and they'll do all the poster pictures and
because it's right there, and like you have the scene. If you don't, you just, like you said, white background.
You just do the white backdrop, and if you worked with your poster company, you're going to come up with the concept of the poster off of the script. So, you guys are going to work together and be like, I think this would be the poster. And then having a professional company, they can read your script and be like, okay, I can see where we can position this in the marketplace to sell it. Yeah. Which is why you don't hire your friend to do it, because your friend does not know what is selling in the marketplace at that time. Every year, what sells in American film market changes. Sometimes thrillers are hot, sometimes thrillers are oversaturated, and they kind of know, a sales agent and a poster company are going to know what's happening, and they can position your film.
That was a big thing we learned from you when we took your class, because, we're thinking, we know what movie posters look like. If we get someone that knows how to, isn't a movie poster professional, but is like good with Photoshop or whatever, we can make a poster that is going to look great. But no, what you're saying totally makes sense. Like they know how to market it. They know exactly what they're looking for, all of that. That's why they're the pros.
Angle it. And I think you even maybe mentioned, you could have 2 to 3 different ones because they could be angled towards a different audience.
If I can in the budget, I would do 3 pieces of key art, because each key art is giving the distribution company or your audience an idea of what your movie is. So yeah, you could have one that's a little bit different, and like one that has like the woman, if it's a woman lead, and one that doesn't. And just because, like in Catching Faith, we had the female, all the characters, the star people on the cover. That's what sold the movie. But they ended up going with the football player kneeling on a football stadium, because they realized that our audience would actually be more drawn to just the concept over the fact that Billingville was on the other cover. But we gave them all the options, and they chose. And they actually bought off one, but then you never know. They're going to go into their marketing room once they bought your movie, and the marketing department's going to talk and say which one's going to sell the highest.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pick. And if you can deliver them a finished product, then that money doesn't come out of your back end later, because the distribution company is going to charge the highest for a poster company, where you might be able to get an independent, awesome poster company that will do it for a lot less. So you've actually saved yourself money in the back end of selling your movie.
Yeah, that's great. Great planning. So, if
they take that money out of your sales, everything, marketing, poster, trailer.
That makes sense.
They take it all out. So if you just saved yourself $20,000, you don't have to get recouped back.
Yeah. Definitely saving money is good.
Always. Especially for us indie people. We need every dollar that'll come back to us.
So that being said, what, like, when you are approaching a DC, or I remember, like, what kind of mistakes could you avoid so that you aren't getting screwed, like, with, a
DC, like a distribution company.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Well, having a sales agent, not going it alone, not trying to do that contract without help or without a major entertainment lawyer that will help you, which is really hard for independent filmmakers because we don't have a lot of money, and entertainment lawyers are very expensive. But when you are working with a distribution company, there's a lot of contracts that we as filmmakers, we shouldn't know how to do that. We're artists. It's like I have the people on my team that are good at what they do.
That makes
and
sense.
hire the right people. And a sales agent, to me, is like very wise to have that, because they have relationships with the distribution companies, and they can negotiate, and they have a lawyer on their team. So they're actually taking a lot of that off of your plate that you don't have to worry. And if you trust your sales agent,
which is huge.
That's the biggest thing I always say. I mean, you can go to lawn, you can sell your movie to Lionsgate, but I would be nervous because they're kind of already, distribution companies are tricky. They can already kind of pile you under, so you never make any money.
Yeah.
But if you have a sales agent, every time the quarterly report comes in, he can check it. He can, go back to them, and you have somebody sort of on your team for the next 7 to 15 years. If they buy your movie that long, that's how long you're going to be working with your sales agent.
And a red flag just kind of shot up about, you had mentioned, I remember something like, independent filmmakers, who are starting it, and they can fall into the trap of giving away their movie for free.
I was going to say that. Yeah. That's like the newest thing that's happening right now, and I have some thoughts about it, and and I will share my thoughts, and you guys can disagree. But I think that if a distribution company is not going to buy your movie up front, if they're not going to give you a minimum guarantee up front, then what are the chances that they're ever going to put marketing into your movie, that they're ever going to let people know? And if they're not going to Walmart and putting up the fronting the cost of a DVD sales, and they're only going to Amazon and iTunes, you really have to wonder, do you want to go with them, or do you want to go self-distribution? Because you're going to do all the marketing for your movie anyway. So then you have to think, well, if you're not fronting the DVD costs and you're just putting me on iTunes and Amazon, you can do that yourself with an aggregator. And then all the work that you put into marketing, which you're going to do anyway,
of course, that
revenue stream comes directly back to you, instead of you doing all the work and putting money into the distribution company's pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going off of that, I know you've done both the traditional route and self-distribution.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's kind of, you have a preference per the type of film you do, or in general, do you like one more than the other? Or I know it's kind of pros and cons on both ends.
Right. Yeah. I really I worked with Helena Santos on At Your Own Risk, and she is amazing. She created Ms. in the Biz, and she is like a little marketing genius. So having her on our team for At Your Own Risk, I feel like, okay, I have a partner who's going to go as hard as I am at marketing this, and we're going to work together. And her and I together just like we already knew how to do. I already knew how to market my films from my past films because even though I sold a major distribution company, I sold to Image Entertainment, I sold to Pureflix and Universal Studios, I still did all the marketing because I cared that people saw my movie. And even with the minimum upfront guarantee that I got, you don't necessarily get a lot of money in marketing. I mean, I did for Wish for Christmas, but like if your movie doesn't have a lot of star names, they're not going to probably put a lot of marketing. So I was like, I want people to know my movie exists. Yeah. So we were able to take all of our knowledge and pool it together and like just crush going out and getting press releases out there. And but it is a lot of work. And, you know, I just spoke with a few people the other day about it and they were like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. And I'm like, it's a lot of work, but it's all a lot of work. Even if you sell it, I think some filmmakers think, oh, I just sold my movie, so I'm done with it. It's your movie forever and no one's going to care more than you are. So I think
so true. So wise.
Yeah. So I'm always going to promote my movies. I'm still promoting Home Sweet Home from my first feature because it's my baby. And I'm always like letting people know or working on social media. But that movie's in the black. So if I make money, if the distribution company makes money, then I make money. So that does entice me that I'm like, well, if I'll make money. But At Your Own Risk, everything I do for At Your Own Risk, the revenue stream comes back to us, which makes me really want to promote At Your Own Risk. Whereas like if I promote Wish for Christmas, that goes back to the distribution company. But then again, I just want people's lives to change and enjoy the movie. So it's really pros and cons. And it depends what film you have. Like I have a movie that I'm about to shoot called Switched, about two girls that switch bodies in high school, and it's very Mean Girls meets Freaky Friday. And we hired a casting director and we're hoping to elevate that film and make it bigger. And if we could get a distribution company that really believes in it and understands our audience and wants to go after it, then obviously I'll go with them. But unless I find that actually with the social media stars in the movie and some of the people we've aligned ourselves with, we might end up doing okay on our own because we have
the audience
kind of tapped in. But that kind of puts us in the power position of like, we can take meetings with studios, distribution companies, and we can really be picky and choosy. And we're pretty hip to the game. Like we have a meeting with a distribution company tomorrow and someone had told me some of the deal and I was like, well, I know I won't do that. I did not fall off the turnip truck yesterday. So I know what I'm looking for. And that's what's great about just being able to, even if you're a first time filmmaker, just know what your movie's worth and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. But also know if you're first time that if you're going to get a distribution company that's going to put you in a position you want on shelves that you couldn't get on there, move on from that movie, make another movie. Some people get stuck and they're like, well, I didn't get any money and I didn't this. And I'm like, but did you parlay that into the next movie? I mean, my movie got to Walmart. My first film got to Walmart shelves and did very well. And I was like, I didn't make a ton of money, but I moved on and parlayed that to my next feature, my next feature, my next feature. Don't get stuck. Keep moving forward. Use it.
So you can say, you can show future investors or, future DCs you want to partner up with that I was able to get my movie on the shelves of Walmart and be successful.
And be on Netflix. I mean,
and exactly.
Those are great things to put in your pitch deck. If people are going to look at that and go, they're legit, they've done something. And I couldn't have gotten to Walmart on my own.
Definitely.
So they elevated me in that way. But now as we've moved forward, we feel like we have a little more leverage as we have a little more control and stuff.
Which is an awesome place to be.
It is. It's really exciting. And we have we put good talent in that we know and we're like it's like when you don't have any cards to play, you can't play any. And if you do, you can. So I know the value of the people I've already aligned on the project, which makes me go, I know what it's worth. But when I started off, I didn't really have anything that was worth anything. So I didn't have star names and I didn't quite understand the industry. So I had to rely on that distribution company to get it out there, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
no,
totally.
That totally does, which is huge because that's kind of our probably our audience on this podcast because we are preaching towards the
underdeveloped filmmaker.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, how do you get from there to having those cards to play? And it does sound like kind of a smart, and everyone finds their way differently, but a smart way to start maybe with someone who is going to put you in a good light, like the right distribution company. And then you can move, like you say, parlay that.
That. Never look at the tree for the forest, look at the whole forest. People get so tunnel vision, and it's not about that one movie. It's about your fifth movie, your sixth movie. And that's what our team was really good at was we didn't get get angry and let things that were not the best situations, it never brought us down. We were like, how do we use that for the next movie? And that's because I have met first-time filmmakers who kind of got stuck because they were so upset with the distribution deal, and because it's really hard to recoup money, people. I mean, if you got to get the upfront minimum guarantee and just kind of know that the back end, your movie has to make so much money for you to recoup money. So you got to let it go and move on and be stoked and grateful and thankful. But I've seen people get stuck after the first movie because they get bitter and angry. And I'm like, but you're shooting your career in the foot by allowing that to bring you down or to stop you. I'm like, so
you should have like that kind of self-awareness to know that it's your first movie.
It's your first
like,
movie. You should know, unless you've got Brad Pitt or you have connections to a big name. You're starting off and you have to know what starting off looks like in the industry. People have major expectations. And I talk to people a lot about like a sales agent. I'll be like, oh, a sales agent takes 30%. And people will be like, 30%? And I'm like, 70% of something is better than nothing.
Exactly.
And you're probably going to go out there yourself. And people, like, I literally have had people say to me, I've been trying to get distribution. Nobody will pay up front. It's all like, I'll take your movie for free. That whole thing that's going on right now. And I go, well, why don't you get a sales agent? And she and this person said, oh, I don't want to give 30% away. I go, right now you have 0 of 0. So it's really important, people, to not get like wrapped up on the wrong things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll give you 30% if you're going to go to American Film Market and bust your butt to sell my movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's nothing. But you would be surprised how many people get caught up in those
It's an
things.
emotional tie, like, which we can all understand, but then you have to kind of take yourself out of it and realize that, you know,
You got to put on the business goggles.
Exactly.
You
I
have
love
to.
that.
You
That's
have
exactly
to. You have
it.
to take your filmmaker passion and then put you're creating a product, you're selling a product, and you have to look at it. It's like what we're saying about poster and a professional trailer. You have to look at your movie like a product. People get really upset. They're like, oh, did the distribution company watch the movie? I'm like, I don't know, because they don't care about that. They care about, is it going to sell? Is it going to make them money? Who's the audience? And you have to show them that in the poster and the trailer. And then to them, they don't care. As long as they think the audience will buy it, they're not really thinking about, it's going to be a good movie. Hopefully you're going to make a good movie. But it's understanding that unfortunately, it takes so far for them to even get to your movie.
Oh yeah. You like blew me away when you said, and I think you said it earlier too, that they don't even really watch the trailer sometimes. It's literally the
movie.
poster.
Yeah,
or
the
movie.
poster.
But even
They
the
will,
movie.
the first thing is they look at your poster. This is the exact way your audience looks at a movie too. It's the same thing. They're going from they look at your poster, then they watch your trailer, and then they're like, okay, send over the movie. They watch the first 10 minutes. Sometimes they watch the last 10 minutes. They'll know in the first 10 minutes if they want to buy your movie. So your first 10 minutes are really important, you guys. And then that's why at film festivals, a lot of the big movies, people say that half the audience has gotten up and left. It's because that they already knew in 10 minutes if they were going to buy the movie or not. So like a lot of people at Sundance will be like, oh my gosh, everyone left the theater. That's because they're on to the next movie. They're like, I know what I want.
Right.
And then they'll send it down to quality control and somebody else watches the film. So those are really important. Don't skimp on the poster and the trailer.
Well, thank you for all that info. If our listeners want to follow what you're doing or learn some more from you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super easily reachable. I love to talk to people that are, especially people who love our stuff. So you can find me on Instagram at Alexandra Boylan. I'm also on, I think it's at Alexandra Boylan, or there might be an M in there. But anyway, I'm also on Facebook, Alexandra Boylan. I'm also on Twitter, ABoylan4. I have a website, mustardseedent.com. And then all of our films are, Catching Faith and Wish for Christmas. And where else do you find people? Where do we find people?
That's
anywhere.
You can write to me on Instagram. Instagram's kind of where I am the most. Have you guys noticed?
Yeah.
That's sort of like Facebook's a little. Facebook also, if you're not my friend, I might not see your message. So I feel bad that I'm like, oh, that person wrote to me like a year ago to tell me they love my movie. But I wasn't ignoring you. It's just the way they filter things.
Yes.
So or you could write to us on mustardseedent.com. There's a spot to write to us. And
Perfect.
Yeah, and take her class, guys. If you really it was
we got a lot out of
blowing. Yeah, we got so much of it. She broke everything down, and
and it's good because it will it will get you to do better self-distribution because I understand now the distribution side, that now doing self-distribution, I even understand it more, like
because you know the cards.
because
you
I
can play,
understand
and you
how it works and I
yeah.
understand how marketing works, and because I've done it so many times. So I can help with people's success rate on self-distribution and where do you self-distribute then and what aggregator to choose. There's Distributor, he's great.
The alligators, aggregators.
Aggregators. There's Distributor and Juice are aggregators. And to go onto iTunes, you have to have an aggregator, but to go onto Amazon, you don't need an aggregator. So it's also knowing when you have to spend money and when you could actually do it. But don't go to Amazon Prime because they're not paying very much for the movies.
Good to know.
Oh, they're paying like a penny a view. It's really bad right now. They changed
okay.
So go, like we went to iTunes and Amazon. And then also just for anyone who doesn't know, Netflix and Hulu are license deals. They don't pay per view.
Okay.
So you license the movie for a certain amount of time and they pay for that license, but you don't actually get the pay-per-view. I'd be a millionaire off my movie being on there. I wish, because millions of people see it on Netflix. But it's also a good calling card for people to go and buy it. If they love it, they can go to Walmart and buy. I'm not Amazon now with DVDs. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the tips. Thank you for talking to us and playing your game with us.
fun. I was
like, girl,
I'm
you
a
went
really
for
good
it?
drunk, so that card was good for me.
Next time, whiskey and the tea.
Whiskey and the tea noted. Next time, Alexandra. We do
was
hope you
fun,
come
guys.
back. Yeah,
I'd love to. Thank you.
This is so fun.
Yes, and thank you, listeners, for tuning in, and we will see you next episode. Thanks for listening to Femme Regard Podcast. If you like what you hear, tune in next time for more tips on the filmmaking business and insightful conversations with industry professionals over tea.
We can only grow with your support, so please subscribe, share, rate, and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. If you leave us a great comment, we might give you a shout out on the show. For more on us, check us out at femregard.com.